What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. And I want to, before I get into this review, I do want to say welcome, welcome, welcome to all my new subscribers. I've gotten a pretty good little jump in subscribers in the last couple of days. So I don't know where you guys are coming from, but I'm glad you found me, and I hope you stay. This is your review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 10, episode 10. Okay, 10, 10, 10. All right, so we start this episode off. First of all, let me say this was like an unofficial reunion of Housewives. I thought it was really cool that towards the end of this episode, we got to see a lot of the we got to see a lot of the other housewives or former housewives. But we start this episode off. We have this scene with Camille and Kyle. It seems that Camille has reached out to Kyle because I guess she wanted to apologize to Kyle. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. When it comes to Camille, I always feel like there's an ulterior motive. And a part of me felt like the only purpose for her reaching out was to try to get back in good, to get back on the show. Like, I'm not even going to be funny. Like, that's how I felt. And once again, Camille is still not owning anything that she did because, like, she totally acted a fool at the end of last season. I understand she went through a lot with losing her home, but that whole thing with her and Dorit was a bit much. And then the reunion, she like really acted a fool. And again, I don't know if it was sincere or not. And I didn't feel like it was sincere because I felt like she still wasn't owning anything. And what Kyle was saying was that, you know, Camille has been doing a lot of stuff like the whole, y'all in this social media, y'all gonna keep letting social media get y'all caught up. Because this happened on another show that I reviewed, Love and Marriage Huntsville. All of that retweeting, that subliminal stuff, like, okay, I'm not gonna say it, but I'm gonna retweet what somebody else said that I like. Like the retweet, y'all almost got fired from a job one time for retweeting something. Girl, anyway, that's another conversation for another day, child. That's a story time. But, so Kyle was telling her, you know, she was like, well, you know, you never just done that. You don't say one thing and then meant something else or said something to one person and said something different to somebody else. And Kyle was like, not on purpose. Like, I try to be straightforward with people. And we know Kyle got her stuff too, but again, this ain't about Kyle. But she let her know that, well, you can, you know, because y'all know Kyle was having her big party or whatever. And so she invited Camille to come. And her thing was, listen, I don't know how the rest of the girls are going to, you know, perceive what's going on. But you can come, girl. So we're going to see how that works out. But she looks like she got a new house. Well, not looks like, she does. She has a new house on Malibu. She's like right on the water. And it looks like a nice home. Like, I'm happy for her. Then we have this meeting between Denise and Lisa Rinna. I'm not sure how I feel about this, how this whole thing went. Basically, Denise wanted to talk to Lisa Rinna because she felt like Lisa Rinna, because they have a friendship outside of this group and outside of the show, she wanted to talk to Lisa Rinna and sort of let her know that she kind of felt like Lisa Rinna kind of came for her. And because they are like friends, she felt some kind of way about it. Now, again, y'all, I still don't agree with Lisa's mindset when it comes to, well, you being a hypocrite because what's the big deal? We've done it. Like, and her thing was, well, you know, your kids, you know, you said it on the show and all your kids had to do was watch the show. And I still just feel like you're just not owning it. You just don't get it. Like, it's just not that serious or whatever. And Denise was like, I just don't understand what y'all don't understand. And I'm not going to keep dwelling on this. But the one point I am going to bring up that's a little different. I do agree with Lisa Rinna to a certain extent when she says that she feels like Denise is trying to change her image this season. That last season, maybe she came off a little too sexual. Maybe she came off a little too extra, telling things that her and, you know, her husband have done and gotten into and talking about his member and certain things. And maybe someone did talk to her. I mean, we know that she's in the middle of this custody battle with Charlie. And maybe somebody did pull her coattail a little bit and say, you might want to tone that down. You might want to, you know, start baking some cookies and looking like America's mommy because Charlie is not really feeling it, and it is on tape. Like, they can show that video to a judge or whatever. So I do think, now that part I do agree with Lisa. But if you believed that, then if you were her friend, then that's all the more reason why you should have her back. To, at least as far as I'm concerned, that is all the more reason why you should have her back. It should be like, girl, we got you. But yeah, and honestly, Denise walked away, I think, angrier than when she walked in, and Lisa Rinna is even more self-righteous in feeling that what she did and said was right. And like I said, I've said what I have to say about this whole situation, but I do agree with Lisa a little bit from that point of view, that I think Denise is trying to sort of fix some things that maybe, like I said, somebody might have came to her and said, girl, you may want to check into that. Okay, so we're getting ready for the party now. Kyle, y'all, if you've been watching the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you know Kyle does this party every year. But this year, it looks like she's doing it specifically for charity. It's not just for her and her friends to get together and, you know, party and be cute and be fabulous and rich. And she is trying to raise money for the Children's Hospital. And what we find out is that she's having a silent auction, but she's also having an actual auction. And so, of course, she wanted to have some great items for the auction. And Dorit actually got some great items for her. And of course, Dorit has to let everybody know that she got those great items for her. Anyway, child. The other thing was she talked to Dorit and let Dorit know that Camille was coming. And Dorit's thing was, I mean, that's cool. She could stay on her side of the room and I'm stay on my side of the room, because I still don't mess with her. Because she came for me, she came for my husband, and she came for his livelihood. And so, yeah, I still ain't got nothing for her. And you know what? I don't blame her. Like, Dorit ain't always my favorite person in the world, but I don't blame her. Because what she did, whether she was telling the truth or not, and for her to insinuate that PK owed, I have some friends that he owes some serious money to, and they want their money and they're not playing. Like, it almost like you insinuating that the mafia was after him or something. Like, it was Camille, yeah, it was a lie. So I'm 100% with Dorit on that one. Now we see that Garcelle is meeting with her business partners with this movie that they're producing, and they're meeting with the woman that they're looking for a director, and I want to say she's a script writer. So she's taking the screenplay and turning it, I guess, creating something technical with taking it from this stage to the next stage. But this woman was like rewriting the whole story. And the more she talked, the more ridiculous the story sounded. And it really got to the point where I was like, is this woman for real? Like, all this gonna happen in one movie? Like, it was some old 10 Shades, what was it? 10 Shades of Grey meets a soap opera meets. It was some crazy stuff. And like, Garcelle's face said it all. Like, the woman was talking, the more the woman was talking, the more and more her face was like, like, are y'all serious right now? And, you know, once the woman left, you know, she was looking at her, you know, her business partner's like, yeah, I mean, that ain't what we hired her to do. Like, we didn't hire her to rewrite the script. Like, we good. The script we had, we were fine with. We did not hire her to rewrite our script. Like, I'm not understanding what that was about. So, but again, it's nice to see her working on these projects and knowing that she that she's getting into that level. Matter of fact, they even asked her, well, would you consider directing it? And she was like, yeah, no, that's not happening. Nope, no ma'am. So it's the night of Kyle's party. It's the night of the party, and they're getting ready for the party. And Dorit is talking to PK about basically telling him about what happened with Denise and her husband. And y'all remember PK got into a whole lot of trouble their first season on the show, with him trying to involve himself in what was going on, and him trying to, got on Erica's bad side, and then, him kind of coming for Erica a little bit, and Erica was really feeling some kind of way about him kind of being in her face, and he was like, "Oh man, Aaron need to learn." Maybe I had to talk to him because I had to learn the hard way, and maybe I could talk to him about what's appropriate. Oh, excuse me. What's appropriate, what's not appropriate, what's a good idea, what's not a good idea when it comes to this group of ladies, And then Dorit has on this dress, which the dress was cute, but before they even left the house, she was talking about how the dress was falling apart. And I'm thinking, then why are you wearing a dress that's falling apart? It was cute. It was a black dress, it was strapless, and it had these silver tassels hanging off. And I'm sure it was expensive, and I'm sure it had somebody's designer label on it. But I'm just like, if it was already falling apart, why in the world would you wear it knowing it was falling apart before you left the house? And then while they were at the party, it was falling apart. And there was little beads all over the floor. And I'm thinking, and all I kept thinking was, my God, you got all those women walking around with them heels on, with them damn stiletto heels on. And all I was thinking was, one of those women are going to slip on those balls and fall. Like, that's all I kept seeing in my head. But anyway, child, that's whatever. Now, let's talk about the party. Eileen Davidson, who used to be on the show, she's riding with Lisa Rinna and Erica on their way to the show. On their way to the party. Brandy ends up coming, which of course y'all know that's the whole thing, that they're bringing Brandy on for this whole explosive situation. We gonna get there, child. Brandy was there, and then my girl Adrienne was Boloff, and they're now divorced, but remember they were married the first season. But both of them were there. Separately, he's gotten remarried, and I feel like she was with her boyfriend, or maybe she got remarried too. And so, Kyle was saying how it's always hard when you have friends that get divorced, and how it was really hard trying to stay neutral in their situation, because I believe their divorce was nasty. I remember their divorce, and I believe it was nasty. But she said they're actually at a point now where they can be in the same room with each other without it being a problem, and so that has helped a lot. That they have gotten to that point. So the theme, everybody wore black and white, so there was a color theme. Everybody had on black and white, and everybody looked really nice. Like I didn't see anybody that I was just like, girl, no, like, girl. So everybody looked really nice, and there was some heavy hitters there. Like, it clearly was an actual party that was there where they were raising money for this actual situation. And they probably put on the invitation, we're going to be filming for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, so that people knew when they got there. But we saw Kris Jenner. We saw, of course, her sisters were there. Who was it? It was somebody else that was like, you were like, oh my gosh, look at that person. Anyway, but there was some heavy hitters there. But it was full of everybody. And like I said, there was some Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum. Of course, we know who wasn't there. Lisa Rinna. And so the auction seemed to go well, right? Oh, and Camille came, child. The auction seemed to go really well. They had the live auction. Like, listen, this was one of those auctions where they ain't even had nothing. They were just like, well, somebody like to pledge $35,000. And Kyle, listen, Kris Jenner was like, yeah, I got that. I see it. Or was it 50,000? Whatever it was just a big old chunk. Like, just flick up. So when Dorit saw Camille, why did Dorit straight curb her? Like, Dorit saw Camille, like, she started walking in one direction. She saw Camille and she turned around. And she spoke to Camille's friend. But when I say she straight up ignored Camille, and Camille was like, okay, so she's not even going to speak? Okay, wow. All right, cool, okay. Then there was this moment between her and Lisa Rinna. Now, I'm going to say this, Lisa Rinna. I didn't really, as much as I don't like Camille, let me be clear. Y'all know I don't like Camille. But I really didn't appreciate how you handled that situation. Camille couldn't get anything out her mouth, and you was calling her an asshole or a shitbag or whatever you said. Like, you really, and I was like, she said, well, hey, Camille, I just want to let you know that you're an asshole. That's what it was. You're an asshole. And Camille was like you did. Like, my thing is this: you could have done what Dorit did. You could have done what Teddy did. We're gonna talk about Teddy in a minute. But you wanted that moment. You wanted to be extra, and you wanted to be rude, because that was unnecessary. Like, you didn't have to walk up to her and just be like, "Hey, Camille, you are a real asshole for what you did on Twitter." And yes, she was an asshole for what she did on Twitter. But if you're going to give her an opportunity to apologize, at least give her an opportunity to apologize. If you're not going to give her an opportunity to apologize, then leave her the hell alone. Just stay away from her like Dorit did. But I just thought that was a bit much. And then, of course, Camille got in her feelings about it because that was unnecessary. And again, y'all know how I feel when y'all make me have to defend somebody I don't want to defend. Now, when her and Teddy had their moment, because Denise wanted to talk to Teddy, so Denise took Teddy off to the side. And when they were off to the side, Denise was saying how, she was trying to talk to Teddy. And before they could even get into it, Camille came up. And Denise invited Camille to come and sit down. And they got, and she was asking, being very superficial. "Oh, congratulations, Teddy. You look beautiful." Teddy was like, "Thank you." And she said, I want to say she asked Teddy how she was doing or whatever. And Teddy was like, "You know what? Let me just stop you right there. You clearly don't like me, and that's cool. But you don't have to be nice to me. You don't have to go through these pleasantries. It's cool. You don't like me, and that's fine." And then she turned to Denise and was like, "You know what? I'm good. I'm fine." So I was like, well, damn, Denise didn't get a chance to have her moment with Teddy, and neither did Camille. But, again, you can't continue to give people your ass to kiss, because at a certain point, they're going to walk away. And I think everyone is sick of Camille and her damn shenanigans, because that is, Camille has done this for seasons on top of seasons on top of seasons. They keep letting you come back, and you keep doing that same shit. So at a certain point, people are just sick of it. Now, I think Lisa Rinna was real dramatic with it, and I think she might have gone a little over the top. But I'm not mad at her saying, "Listen, I don't have the energy for this." PK tried to talk to Aaron. And Aaron wasn't trying to hear what he had to say. Like, Aaron was doing that same passive-aggressive shit that he'd been doing with everybody else. Well, I mean, when people ask me a question, I mean, you should answer, right? I mean, if somebody asks you a question, you should answer. And PK was like, "Yeah, but what I'm saying is maybe you shouldn't put yourself in a position where somebody asks you a question. Like, let the women handle what they handling. Like, stay out of it." "Well, it's not right, is it, to just let somebody just say whatever they want to say, though, right? I mean, that's not right, is it?" So yeah, Aaron, you be doing a lot. And again, this whole Denise thing, they're just gonna keep. I told y'all, I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna keep talking about it. When y'all give me something new, then I'll talk about something new. Of course, Brandy came in the room, and y'all know Brandy and Kyle have never had the best of relationships, but what ended up happening was she said that Brandy had this moment on social media where she was crying and upset and talking about, just having a moment or whatever. And Kyle said she felt bad for her, so she reached out to her child, whatever. Listen, Brandy is still the same drunk. Brandy showed up drunk. She said it when she walked the door to my son, "I'm drunk already." Brandy showed up drunk. Brandy is what Brandy is. And she's on here to start trouble, which, let's hear it. Garcelle showed up with a date. Now, come to find out, that was only their second date. So I guess that's the same guy she went on a date with last episode. But they've known each other for like 12 years. So I guess they've run in the same circles. And Garcelle said something that I don't know how to take. She said when she married her husband, who was a white man, she got a lot of criticism for marrying a white man. And she said, so now, I'm back out there and I'm dating, and I feel the pressure to date, a black man. Garcelle, date whoever the hell you want to date. People are going to have an opinion no matter what you do. But at the end of the day, your happiness is what's important. If you meet a man and he is, and he is from Mars and he makes you happy, girl, you better date who you want to date. Don't be letting other people and their prejudices and their thought processes dictate to you who you should and should not date. Now, again, don't date somebody just because they're white. But I wouldn't say to date somebody just because they're black either. You date what makes you happy. That's what makes the world go round. Whatever floats your boat, bruh. Anyway, last but not least, I think excuse me, I think I've hit all the hot spots, but was it something else? I think I hit all the hot spots, y'all. I think that was it. It was something I was gonna say about. Oh, all I was gonna say was that, yeah, and Kyle spent. She said she spent 6 figures on the party, and so she wanted to raise at least. She said her goal was to raise 200,000, because if they couldn't raise at least that, then she might as well just not had the party and wrote them a check for as much as she spent on the party. And so she did end up raising $300,000 for the party. So I mean, $300,000. So she met her goal and then some. She exceeded her goal, and so that was nice. And it's always nice when you see people doing things for the right reasons and doing the charity and all that good stuff. Anyway, that was it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments.